I didn't give him guidelines. I wanted him to have, I wanted to have as much as he could. But I'll tell you this, the guy is very perceptive. Like I say, he's very sharp. He says, okay, Orlando, from looking at the piece and listening to the recording and what have you, he said, just so you know, I'm not going to make, it's not, the ballet is going to be very, in many ways, referential to the material. So it's not like people jumping and bouncing around, like you would think, the Nutcracker or something. No, that's not the kind of ballet. And in fact, I'm even discussing them the kind of expression they should have, right? It should be very, very, I don't want to say cold, but very neutral. So it kind of reflects, the thematic. So he said, "What do you think of that?" I said, "I think that's perfect." So those are the kind of conversations that we have. The guidelines, as far as like the movement, even when they move and don't move, I'm relatively fine deferring to what he sees and what he hears, right? Because he's a choreographer. He works, in fact, he told me, he said, when I usually choreograph something, I live with the music for months and months and months. So this is very different for me, he said. But I was very taken by the music, so I was able to get right into it, and the music, if I may say so, it's relatively clear. My music isn't impenetrable. I mean, my music is, this piece is a binary piece. There's two big sections to this piece, and then the first part of the first big A section, if you will, has lots of subsections that you can hear. And then the B section is the same. It doesn't have as many. It's much less, but still you can hear. You can divide it up. So it's not a music that's that super complex. It's somewhat abstract, but it's not super complex. And as with most of my music, it unfolds slowly. It still unfolds slowly, perhaps not as slowly as some, but it's not different. So working with him, very few guidelines as to, okay, this has to be this way or that way. He by just by talking to him, he's the one that's coming up with a lot of the guidelines himself, and they all seem to work really, really well. So right now, the biggest thing is that we have to work on, and that I'm discussing with him and with Michael is, where are they going to be? Where do they come in from? Do they go out? There's doors on stage, like there was, like there's been for some of the like the operas they did that we were at. There is some staging that can be done that way, that and lighting. But it's only two dancers, so that's not, that difficult. It's not that complex.